just trying to survive and learn to love along the way by Foreplay on AO3. Episode 62, Chapter 62, of Alarms and Anger. Shouta hadn't been expecting any student to show up early for the meeting. Clearly a mistake. Now he has to deal with an upset Kirishima, an angry Bakugou, 17 other confused kids, and a wet building. Shouta figures that without this mishap, he still would have to deal with the first two, but at least then it would have been a more controlled situation. Not whatever the hell is going on now. This won't be fun. To be fair, he already knows that it wouldn't be on a good time. Even if things had gone according to plan, it still isn't what he wanted. There are certain kids that he wanted to have a one-on-one conversation with, specifically the students that Touya attacked. As easy as it would be to tell everyone at once, Shouta knows that there are kids who have issues with this. He wants to address them privately instead of in front of the whole class. Some kids don't want their classmates to know everything about them, especially things that they may consider a weakness. It also wasn't his idea to introduce them to Touya, even though most of his kids haven't met him face to face. They all been affected by the attack. Somehow, Nezu got it into his mind that he needed to be there for the meeting. He's the one who decided that all the kids should be informed at the same time, as well as introducing them to the person who killed their classmate. It doesn't matter that it was unwillingly. It still happened. And some of his kids had to witness it. Some of them were almost killed too. So Shouta isn't all that happy with Nezu right now, but he'll have to save their annoyingly one-sided discussion for later. Shouta gets Touya back to the kitchen before he heads outside to collect class. It's probably best they don't see him before he explains things to them. They have been Nezu's grand plan before, but clearly he should have hid him better. This is gonna be a long night. Izuku knew something was up when his dad announced the meeting. The way he said it implied that this is serious, and he can tell that his dad isn't happy about something. Izuku has a feeling he knows what the meeting is about, but he can't place why his dad seemed to be upset by it. Izuku learned most of Touya's history in the past couple days. Shouta had been more than happy to share, and even his dad had said a few passing things. It's only logical that the early evening meeting has to do with this. That, and the people his dad had focused on while making the announcement. Izuku knows he's not the only one who noticed the looks he gave Kirishima, Kaminari, Sero, and Ashira. While everyone knows the group is friends, they also know about the significant event that ties them together. He hangs out with Hitoshi in his room when the explosion happens, and it's the sound he's very familiar with. Why is Katsuki setting off his quirk in the dorm building? Before Izuku can even voice his question, the fire alarm goes off. No sprinklers goes off in this section of the building. They program to only activate in the areas with the fire, so as to avoid unnecessary water damage. Though Izuku knows that Katsuki is going to be very angry and very wet. Except, that's not what he finds when he evacuates with the rest of the class. Everyone gets out fairly quickly, and they all gather around his other dad, who just returned from patrol. He looks equally as confused as they do, which doesn't give anyone much confidence. By the time his class stops coming outside, they're still short 2 people, Katsuki and Kirishima, as well as his dad, but Izuku assumes that he's making sure everyone evacuated, as well as looking for the source of the fire. At least it would be easy to find both, since one of the people who didn't evacuate just happens to be the source of the fire. The alarm stops blaring and the class moves forward as one, ready to go back inside and attend the meeting. His dad steps in front of the group before they can move any closer to their building. Wait up, guys. Let's wait until Eraserhead tells us it's clear first. His dad uses his quirk to ensure that they all hear him, and a few of the students closest to the front cover their ears. Izuku can hear a few groans of frustration. Everyone would much rather be inside than out here. He and Hitoshi had been in the middle of their homework when the alarm went off. There's no way they'll be able to focus on it now. Alright, class. Go find a seat in the common room. His dad steps out only a few moments later. Izuku follows with the rest of the class, and finds himself seated between Hitoshi and Shouta on the couch. Katsuki and Kirishima are nowhere to be seen. Izuku knows he's not the only one to have noticed the absence, but no one has commented on it, and he doubts that anyone will, unless his dad brings it up. His dad drags a chair across from the table and seats himself in it, but he doesn't say anything. Before Izuku has the chance to ask what's going on, there's a faint rustling, and Nezu pops out of his dad's capture scarf. "Hello, Class 1A." Izuku thinks the look on his face could be considered a smile, but it's hard to tell. "I am pleased to see that most of you have made it to my meeting." Before the principal can go on, Kaminari raises his hand. "I thought Aizawa-sensei planned this." Nezu shakes his head at Kaminari and jumps up onto the coffee table. "Well, he sure wanted to, but I may have hijacked the process. I know that Eraserhead wanted to do this differently, but I have my own way of doing things." Izuku has no clue how Nezu can sound so cheerful considering the topic they're about to breach. "Considering that this whole thing was my idea, I thought it best if I led things here." There are confused murmurs all around, but everyone quiets down when Nezu clears his throat. "Now, I'm sure you all noticed the construction that Cementos has been working on nearby." Izuku finds himself nodding with the rest of the class. They tried asking the pro about it, but he refused to tell them what the building is for. It looks a lot like their dorms, but all of the classes already have their own buildings. "He's been constructing hero dorms for the pros that are patrolling here to stay at, so they don't have to travel all the way home after a shift." Nezu allows the extended whispers for a moment. Izuku finds himself joining in. He's seen some of the heroes that patrol the area, and they're all super cool. To have them living nearby means that they have more interactions with them, and he may be able to ask them a few burning questions. Or maybe he'll just use his dad as an excuse to go over there and meet them. The heroes are not the only people who will be staying there. For now, that dorm will have one permanent resident. He's recently been freed from the League of Villains and needs our protection. It's Yaoyorozu who raised her hand this time, but she waits to be called on to ask her question. "The League was holding someone hostage. Why haven't we heard of this on the news?" The rest of the class make noises of agreement. "Because, Yaoyorozu, nobody knew until the other week. We previously thought he'd been working with the League, but we recently found out that he was only cooperating to protect his family." Shoto tenses beside him. Izuku looks over at him, but his expression gives nothing away. "I believe some of you have met him before. Come on out, Touya." Nezu raises his voice at that part, and the familiar form of Touya emerges from the kitchen. He has his head lowered, avoiding everyone's gazes. "What the hell?" Izuku looks over to Kaminari. He's on his feet and he looks angry. Izuku's never seen him angry before. A few other classmates jump to their feet. Everyone has various degrees of anger and fear on their faces. Only a few of them have personally met Touya, but everyone else knows what happened. Those who witnessed it were reluctant to talk about it, but Izuku had heard firsthand from Kirishima what happened. He assumed the others confided in their classmates as well. It's no wonder everyone knows. "Sensei, what the hell? Why are you letting him do this? You know what that asshole did!" Ashiro turns to Izuku's dad now. "Eraserhead has no sway over what I do. As I mentioned, Touya here was being blackmailed into working for the League. He only cooperated in order to protect his siblings. There's also evidence that he is being monitored, so UA is the safest place for him." Nezu speaks before his dad has a chance to. "But why couldn't he go somewhere else?" Ashiro is quiet now, bordering on tears. A lot of their classmates are. "Because he had no other choice." Shoto speaks up before anyone else can, and every head in the room turns towards him. "If he went home, our father would have heard him again. It's not safe there." Shoto speaks quietly, but it's the only sound in the room. No, yeah, that went predictably like how I expected it to. I still wonder how things are gonna go and stuff. And how everything's gonna develop because, like, ooh, you know? The next one is Chapter 63 of Mistakes and a Past. Summary. The meeting wraps up, but before he can relax, Izuku has some people to check up on. But let's talk about the fact that Izuku and Hitoshi were doing homework together. Quite gay, if I do say so myself. I mean, it's not gay, but the fact that it is already established that they sit down and help each other with homework and stuff like that. It gets the ball rolling. We're halfway through the story. Where's my Shindeku? Where's my Shindeku? We already have Eraser Mike. We have Kiribaku. Where's Shindeku? Where is it? I'm looking. I don't see it. Where is it? Shindeku, where are you? Sorry, I really like Shindeku. But, no, this is interesting. I mean, I get why people were outraged. I understand. It's really hard to forgive someone who killed someone that maybe you didn't know deeply, but, people around you are affected by. It's hard to understand that, right? Especially as kids. I know for a fact if, someone I knew got killed by somebody, but, it was a situation with Touya where it's if they didn't kill that person, either they themselves would be killed or their family members or both. Yeah, I would be understanding, but that does not mean that I would not be outraged at the person. I wouldn't want to see them, right? Yeah, sure. In my heart, I wouldn't absolutely despise them and wish the most horrible for them, right? But I very much would not want to be near them. There's a difference between accepting and being okay, I understand and I forgive you, but I don't want you anywhere near me, right? There's a difference. And definitely I would have that yeah, okay, I understand, but I still can't have you near me because in the end, you still killed that person, right? I don't want you near me. And it's hard for the kids, obviously, because but as I said before in the last episode, Touya is literally stuck in a hard place in a rock. Again. He has to pick his poison. And this is the less of the poison. Unfortunately, because who knows what would happen if he went back under Endeavor's care. Oh god. That's just thinking about that. It's tough situations, tricky situations. There is no wrong or right answer here. There is no wrong or right person. It is all gray. And that is the beauty. I love gray areas, gray situations, gray characters. They're amazing, they're wonderful, and I love them so much because they're so nuanced, and I love it so much. Okay, enough of me geeking out. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.